Buying or building your own shed can be expensive, but today I'm going to show you how I built this base, shed, and ramp for less than $1,000. So our shed base needs to be about 12 foot by 8 foot because we're going to be putting a metal shed on top of this. Got a really good deal on one on Amazon in the late fall, so I'm really happy with the overall cost of this shed so far. So I found these tough blocks online and I'm going to try these out and see how well they hold up for a shed base. You can make it really low profile, and that's what we're looking for. I don't want something that sticks up really high. But if you are looking to build a deck on this, you can put a 4x4 post in here. You can put a 2x in here. So different formats for whatever you're building. We're not going to be using the 4x4 method. We're going to be laying our 2x6s in here. Another reason I went for these tough blocks over the concrete blocks is how light they are. I can carry all 6 in one hand. And the way I'm going to do this is 3 on either side. This is just a shed, so having a 2x6 spanning this should be no problem at all to support the weight. And I will do a test before I completely build the shed to see if it can support my lawnmower or not. But 6 of these, 4 on the corners, and it's going to support the cross runners at either end, and then 1 in the middle, which we should probably put where one of the joists are going to be. Spacing for the joists on this are going to be 16-inch on center. Got our first one, 3/4 right there. And we can just do our 16-inch from there. So 16, 32. And I hope that's not the rain coming. 48. If you've been watching the channel for a period of time, you'll have seen the last shed base that I built, and it was for my Rubbermaid shed, and I used some stone and a little bit of hate for it because it was not level. So I'm building it properly this time. Also, when I did that, it was during the period of time where lumber was very, very expensive. And my wallet didn't stretch that far. So this time, doing it correctly. So the haters don't hate. Someone was going to hate anyway. So this side in. I feel this is a task that would be much better with a second pair of hands, but unfortunately, I don't have them right now. So one set will do. Up. Like that. There. Don't worry, we'll make sure this is square once everything is on. And of course, I turned it around. There we go. And we are using pressure treated lumber. That should be around about 93 inches apart. It's going to be a big shed. Well, not that big actually. My old shed was 7x10. This is 8x12, so not really that much more, but you know, we'll see. Oh, so we're needs to come in a little bit. Like that. Maybe go get a better tape measure while I'm at it, because this thing sucks. Right about there. So I'm going to cut my end pieces to 93. Also, having to lift 3/4 inch pressure treated plywood by yourself is extremely heavy. So 93 plus 6 gives me 96, which will give me my 8 foot wide. So there's 93. I'll mark another one up. It's in the 50s out. It's a little bit windy. I had a bit of a sweat on here. It's the first time in however many months that I've actually had a sweat on because it's actually nice out. It's overcast. It's a lot of wind. So if you hear that, that's what that is. But you'll notice I've got a nice new sweater on. DIY with Cam sweater. So if you want to support the channel and help me bring more builds like this to the channel, go ahead, check it out down below. Really like this. Really soft. Fits really well. This is a large. I'm about 6'1", 205. Don't know why I'm telling everyone that, how much I weigh, but fits me really nicely. If I were going for something a little bit baggier, maybe for more loungewear, I'd go for an extra large. If you want to support the channel, go get yourself one. There's so much more coming to this channel. This year is going to be huge. So go get yourself one. This Craftsman circular saw has been with me for many years, and I actually got it when I was using pallet wood to build wood storage racks, but it's left-handed, which I didn't realize at the time. And I'm not left-handed. Actually, I can use both hands, so that's okay. But you know what? We'll extend that line. I didn't know circular saws came in multiple left hand or right hand variations, but well, they do. Caber toss. Lot this in here. How did that happen? Am I that far off? Where's my tape measure? Oh, 93. Oh, we just need to pull this out a little bit. Like that. Oh yeah, I pulled it in way too much, so let's pull it out. And like that. Ah. Like that. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. I'm going to use these tough blocks to hold everything down while I drive screws in. And yes, I am using screws. These are structurally rated SPAC screws. They're 1/4 inch by 4 inch. This is a shed that's going to hold a lawnmower in it. We don't need to do nails. I also don't have a framing nailer. So by the time I go and buy a framing nailer, I could build a whole new shed base if that happens. So we're going to be using these here. These are pretty hefty. They replace lag bolts. That's what they're designed for. You don't need to pre-drill these. You can drive these in. So we're going to get plenty of hold right now. I'm going to put 2 on each corner. That'll allow us to hold this in position, and then we can square it up, remove it, get the tough block centered, and build the rest of the base. This is going to fly. So let's get this corner secured first. So this tough block, you could put a 4x4 post in here, notch it, and then put these 2x6 on top of them. That's going to make it really tall. I want this as low profile as possible. Yes, I'm going to have a little bit of tough block sticking out, but at the end of the day, I can put some flowers around here. I can cover this up. That's not a problem at all. And I think this is a much better way to support the load that's going to be in the shed. You'll see people online who use a 4x4 in the corner in here, and then they just lag bolt it in here and here, put a tough block underneath, and call it a day. If you're going to do the 4x4 method, put the 4x4 in the tough block and then notch it out. Put the 2x6s on the notches. That way there's actually some transfer of load through the 4x4 onto the tough block. Otherwise, you'll just be using the lag bolts to hold the weight of whatever shed or deck you're building. And would you look at that? Woo! I like using the 3-4-5 method, but sometimes just taking corner to corner measurements just a little more accurate. I just have to go and get my better tape measure, but here we go. 174 and 8. And we're just under 174. So just bring it over this way. There, we're bang on 174. Bang on. In theory, you could leave the tough blocks like this if they were level. I don't think they are, but you could leave them like that. You don't actually have to put anything underneath them, but I'm going to. Now I need to know exactly where these have to go back in, and I'm just going to drop a couple of these screws in here. I'll do the inside like that. We'll do every single one like that. That means I know which area to tamp down and where to put my paper base. We're going to go around everywhere now and just tamp this down so this is nice and compact. I'm going to check their level across each side by slotting this in. Also, once we put the frame back on, we'll have to square it back up again, but they should be pretty close. Whew. And that one is bang on. More on this one, bring it up a little bit. We'll just spread this around. Maybe we'll have to get another bag of base, but we'll see. Like that. Whack this on here, like so. Slot the board in. That. See how we're looking. Whew. Bang on. Try to think if there's an easier way to do this. If there is, please drop it down in the description below because, well, too late for this build, but you never know. I might have to build another deck, like maybe one for the back patio. Who knows? So I think if I flip this up, I can manhandle it corner by corner. So that wasn't terrible at all. Pretty level. Bang on. Mid-project snack, peanut butter and jelly. Never actually had a peanut butter and jelly until I met my wife when I was 20. But I didn't like peanut butter, but it turns out I love the stuff. I'm going to pull these expensive screws out because I will need them. Don't want any weeds to come up, so we'll put some weed fabric down. Now I'm just going to cut the rest of these boards to 93, and then we'll crown them and we'll install them. And we'll just crown it and slot it in place. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about when I say crowning it, these boards naturally have a curve up and a curve down. So you want the upward curve to be facing up. That's what we're doing here. I'm installing this one first because it's got the tough block underneath it. So it's going to make it easy to line up the tops and drive it in. Got everything screwed down here. The base looks great. Got the weed fabric underneath here. Got all the joists in there. They're all screwed together. Now we just need to install these 3 pieces of 3/4 inch plywood. Now this is pressure treated plywood. Stuff's heavy. Online I saw it was somewhere between 60 and 100 pounds. Felt like they're 150 pounds. So I need 3 exactly, and the joints should line up exactly on center for the joist because I went with 16 inch on center. So let's get them in position and get them fastened down. Go get some screws, get this screwed down. Could nail it, but yeah, again, I don't have a nailer large enough and I'm not doing it by hand, so I'm gonna go get the screws, get this thing screwed down, and then I think we're done for today. One thing that I did forget though was I didn't have any uplift anchors. Not needed, might be. This here might leave some air under here and could have some uplift if we get really strong winds. So I might add them at a later date, but I can put them on the outside instead of on the inside. I think they'll do just fine. It's more of a safety precaution than anything else. The shed base is done. That's a lot more than I was expecting to get done today. I started a little bit late, but it looks good. It's all fastened down. Now it's ready for the metal shed. Today we're going to be building our shed, and the shed that I went with is a metal shed from Patiowell. We've got an 8x12. These are things that are really easy to put together. I've got some gloves. I've got my drill out here. That's all I should really need to put this together. It's kind of like a flat pack furniture. Everything is labeled and numbered, and hopefully everything that I need first is at the top. So we need a BE1, so we need something else also for that. There's another BE1, and we need two more. Now I left this outside last night because, well, I thought I was going to get to it last night and I didn't, so I wasn't carrying it back. These are actually pre-drilled, so it looks like two screws go into each one, so we'll just do there. And everything appears to be labeled too, so makes it a little bit easier to work out where stuff's going. Something I do like, all these screws are labeled to make it really easy to figure out which screws you actually need. So we need F1 and F1 over there. There's no questions as to which screws you actually need. We've got the first problem here. It turns out the Patiowell shed actually isn't 8x12. It was about 89 inches wide, and I've made my shed base 96 inches wide. So I have to redo my shed base, or what I'm thinking is I just push it over to one side, or I can center it, but I think if I push it over to this side, close to the house, we could do a little bit of storage down the back of the shed for pots and things like that that are not being used for planting. So I think that's what I'm going to do. You see here the difference, about 3.5 inches on either side. And then from back to front, we have a little bit too. It's about this. It's a little bit shorter actually. Well, that's unfortunate, but I should have read the instructions first to see what size of base I actually needed. Don't take it for granted that an 8x12 is actually 8x12. So lesson learned there, but hey, base is built. Let's just make it work with what we've got. So the sun is starting to go down, but I'm going to try and put these sides on next. I might do the front first, and then I'll do the back separately around the corner, like this. And you put 4 screws in. So it comes with these little washers. You put on the screw before screwing them in. Screw in on this side. I might put 4 in there, but let's put the other side on so we can actually get these connected. This is a silly idea to do this on my own. Oh well. That's what it's going to like to get in the shed. I'm going to have to bend down. Hopefully it's a little bit taller when I'm inside, so doors aren't going to be very tall. But should be fine enough to get my lawnmower in here. Hopefully. If not, well, I'll have to just bend over to get inside. I really should have read the description before getting this shed, but oh well, it was cheap. I've got these little clips going here. Basically, not following the instructions, so put that in there. Next up, we're taking these number 9 extrusions, or 6, but I think it's 9. I'm going to put this plastic piece in here until it hits the bumper on the back. So when we install the other side, they'll fit together. This might be a little bit more challenging than I first thought. This is a question if this extrusion is meant to go here, but it looks like I screw through here and then I go into this little channel that's created there. Kind of neat way to do it, so you don't have to pre-drill everything on the manufacturer's side. But threw me for a loop a little bit, but it should be able to just lift up. So I'm going to put some side panels on here, which I was meant to put on beforehand. Sometimes I don't like following instructions, you know. I think this would be a lot harder to put this on by itself first, but hey, we'll see if I made a mistake. And that's completely straightened out this bar already. See, it's like really straight now. So we can put one on up here. That'll make this side solid. So let me do that now. Whew. My fingers. I was just getting all these on here, very similar to the first one I put on. But then I realized there's a gap. You should always read the instructions because there's one of these narrower panels. It's meant to go in the middle. I don't think it really matters where it goes because it's just the same as the rest of these, just smaller. This might be it for tonight because it's getting cold. And don't know if you can tell, the light is starting to fade a little bit. So we will put these 4 screws in and make sure this is secure. We don't want it to blow away overnight. And we'll come back in the morning and finish this off. I think we'll call it for tonight. We've got this one side done. We do need to go and put all the screws in, but at least we got it held in position. This side's not done and the back's not done. But hey, it's starting to get dark. So let's pick this up tomorrow in the morning. It's a new day and I lied. I actually got the back of the shed on before I went inside last night. It started getting a little bit dark, but we have that done. Now we just need to do this side here. I do have a second pair of hands today, so hopefully this is going to fly. We'll get this side on here and then we'll get the roof on. And yeah, now we can put all our stuff in here so my wife can have her garage back. Getting these front pieces on that go next to the door. These are the last pieces of siding to go on, by looks things. We're also going to go around and put all the screws in, all the panels that we didn't put in last night and this morning. Make sure everything is secured. Put 2 screws in the front of each one. You see here, I've already put this screw in because it told me to put 4 screws in this panel. I just find that really inconvenient. Now I've got to remove the screws, put it back in. Something with these instructions that a lot of companies don't think about is how are people actually going to build them. I know in theory that's how that should go together and I'm following what I'm meant to do, but when you look ahead, you just should leave that screw off and the corresponding screw on the bottom and the same on the other side. That'll mean that you can just then put these screws in twice. Just having to remove this and then put it back in It's not a big deal, but it would just make it easier to install everything if you knew what was coming next, which you can, because you can look at the instructions. I really like this design. These are all roll formed components and they just slot together. So you're going to take number 14 and you're going to slot it in. You'll see that the holes over here correspond with the slots here, so it means you could still secure what I imagine is going to be the roof onto this. So we'll push it in. Like that. And the holes still line up. When securing these together, just don't use those last two screw holes. Start here and then put them all together. It does say to make sure they're not too tight, so we'll put them all in and then we'll tighten them up a little bit, but not over tighten them. This is really like a giant Meccano set, maybe K-Nex, something like that. Really easy to go together. A little bit time consuming with all these bolts and screws. They're really fiddly, but you know what? It's really like kind of rewarding to build this. Almost like building your own shed, but you know what? Much cheaper, honestly much easier. And lugging all the wood back out here to build the shed and then getting the plywood for the roof be way more expensive than what I've got into the shed already. And it will take a lot longer. So let's get this first beam put together and we'll get the other two as well. Really like how this snaps together. And the shed is starting to look really good. We do need to see it's kind of get blown in a little bit by the wind there, that's fine. Once we get everything together, it'll stretch it back out. And we can peel the film off because there is a protective film on here. All the screws are around the top now. There you go, look at that. Go, 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 yeah! Woohoo! So this film is just too thin. It's protecting the metal. It doesn't really protect it when it's getting roll formed. I'm going to leave the film on because you can't really tell that there's film on it. And honestly, peeling this off is just, I'm going to go insane because this is ridiculous. I'm going to reach out to the company and say that this is a terrible film that they put on here. It's too thin. I work with different types of film and yeah, that's not how the film's meant to come off. So I'm going to leave that, but if you're doing this and you want to peel it off, you must have more patience than I have because I don't have the patience for that. I was just going to start putting all the roof panels on in whatever order I felt, but it turns out there is a reason that you follow the guidelines, because this little hole here, that's where the ridge cap gets secured on, and there's another couple of panels like this along here, so that's going to be really important as to where that is, because that means there's a hole on the ridge cap that lines up with this. So don't just put the roofing on how you think it should go, just follow the instructions. Really easy to follow which panel goes where. This is starting to look really good, apart from the film that I started to pull off, but hey, that might come off eventually. It's starting to look really good. Be much easier if I had a second pair of hands. Unfortunately, my wife had to go and get our seeds for our garden so we can start growing some vegetables this year, but we don't have a garden yet, so I guess I need to build that too. So let's get the shed finished, we'll get the roof done. It's looking good. It's silly, you can't even secure that. Why would they tell me to put that on? See, that's what I mean. These instructions sometimes, that's stupid. Enough. And the roof is completely installed. It was easy, but it did take me about 2.5 hours to complete. Then we're just gonna get this ridge cap on it, figure out how to get up to the middle of the roof from this back side. I think I'll climb up on the ladder and then just lean over. I hope that works. We do have to put this side on as well, so I'll fix this bit first and then we will come back and fix this area over here. There we have it, all the fascia is on. I did make a mistake and put these on too early, but easy enough to pop off. These hold everything together, it looks really good. Second pair of hands are back and we're getting the doors done. We've got some seeds, not too sure what we're going to be growing, Kev. Some watermelon, some zucchini, some
trombone squash.
Don't know, trombone squash?
Tomatoes.
Huckleberries.
Huckleberries?
Don't know what huckleberry is, but we'll find out. But the only problem is now, we don't have any garden beds, so I guess we need to build some vegetable garden beds again. So we'll have to get that done before it gets too warm.
A little less concerned.
Alright, headroom, not the best when you want to go to the side here, but it's just for storing things. So we'll make that work. We'll get some storage in the side there. I want to make my ramp 4 feet long, and the only reason I want to do 4 feet long is I can get 2 pieces out of an 8-foot piece of lumber. No reason other than that. So I'm going to dig down a little bit here so I can put some paver base down so I can have the ramp land flush with the ground around here. I'll put some paver base down so that the pressure treated wood, even though it is ground contact, I can put it onto the paver base and it'll give it a nice firm area to land on so it doesn't move too much. First thing we'll do is get our angle coming out. We want this here because the boards that we put on top of this, we want this to come right into the plywood here. We want to get this angle here, so we're going to hold this up against the floor. This is going to give us our angle because it's square with this side, and we can just draw a line down there. That's giving us a nice angle. We have that angle cut. We're just going to line it up like that. That sits flush. I am going to use a ledger to attach this to, but I need that angle like that to transfer across to all the other boards. So we'll just do that and we can cut that. Now our ramp is going to be 6 feet wide, so I've made my ledger board 6 feet wide. Now we want to secure our ramp portions onto this, like that. So before putting the ledger board onto the shed, I'm going to secure these ramps to the ledger board, and then I can secure the ledger board to the shed. We can pull this in, and this should go like that. So on the bottom, to get a little bit more support, I'm going to put this cross brace on. I can't go too much further this way because it starts to get a little bit low to the ground. You can angle these and slope these, but I don't think you need to. You can run it into there. I've got the paver base down, nice sturdy support for it. And I'm going to use this cross member to make sure the legs are all pointing in the right direction and spread out evenly. Make this next part a little bit easier. I'm going to stand this up and pre-drill or pre-screw a few of the screws we need. Oh, that's heavy. To attach the ledger on. There's going to be someone out there telling me that this support that I put on here should be the other way around. Correct, it should be. This is also a ramp for a shed, and could turn it around, but I don't have enough room with the angle that I'm working with here. And this is just more to keep the space in between the ramps even. Yes, it is giving a little bit of support to this, but these 2x4 should be able to support the lawnmower coming in and out when it's not on there for very long, and it's just a ramp at the end of the day. There's going to be someone out there saying, that support is the wrong way around, second moment of inertia. The centre is around about here. how wide this door is. That's where the center should be. But 22. So, because I think I'm going to expand this door same way. So, make sure I have enough to come this side. From center, about 30, right to there. And if I expand it the other way, it'll be perfect. Actually, I have more than 36. Ooh, yeah, that works. So it's going to overhang this side a little bit, and that's okay because I don't know if you've noticed that I have kind of modified the door a little bit. I'm going to modify it on the other side just to give me more room to get in and out with the lawnmower. It's kind of challenging to come across and come out, so I'm just going to expand the door a little bit, and then I'll modify that so I can lock it. And then we're going to go. I'm in the way here. Come this way. We could have those like helping hands, what they called, the little things for put on doors and things like that. Sixes, and these are 6 feet long, so you can like that and line them all up on this edge here. Basically more than strong enough to support everything coming in and out of this shed. That's how easy it is to build your shed base, shed and ramp for less than $1,000. Depending where you are in the world, some of these items may cost more, so you might not be able to do it for $1,000. And we now have a ramp to get into our shed. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video and you want to see more DIY videos around the home, make sure you check out this video here next.